everyone. As you probably know, it's me, TheRedMageKro, and welcome back to Metaphor, where we are in a good position to start kind of like figuring out a little bit more about this kind of like area. And we're just kind of like going around, kind of learning exactly how everything kind of like works, and whether or not, you know, we're here for the lore for today's episode. I don't think that we need to really kind of like read these in particular, but there is...
What now?
I'm in this area, but I need... Where's the memoriam? Here we go. We want to kind of read a majority of this. So, nature human. So, humans are unknown monsters with bizarre forms unlike any natural beast. Their bodies hold immense amounts of volatile magla, and they rampage through their surroundings indiscriminately. Despite their berserk nature marking a little sign of intelligence, it can wield advanced magic beyond the grasp of all sentient beings. Many aspects of their biology and ecology remain a total mystery. There are 2 pages of this. Okay. Given their unnatural physical resilience, large specimens can wipe out entire armies. Although there have been sightings of humans since antiquity, actual encounters are incredibly rare, and they have long been dismissed from being any real threat. However, recent years have seen them appearing with more rapid frequency across the Crown's lands, which has the people uneasy. I mean, it would make anyone really uneasy. Let's see, magic. A general term for the technique that consumes power to cause phenomena that bend the laws of nature, has a wide range of applications, from modest use in daily life to destructive power in war. However, as magic igniters, which require a state permit for ownership and use, are required for people to be able to use magic, many cannot wield magic. Okay. There's magla. Technical term for magic power that serves as the basis for magic. There are varying amounts of all things found in nature, including people, plants, and animals. Because magla sometimes crystallizes in areas of high concentration, some scholars theorize that magla may be physical particles too small to be seen with the naked eye. Crystals, which are those crystals that we saw when we were fighting the captain guy. Crystallized cluster of magla that forms naturally in places where high concentrations are left to fester. Though scholars have recently developed methods to create them artificially, the color of the crystals depends on the formation process and its impurities. High purity natural crystals are indispensable in production high performance igniters. As a result, some value them higher than gems and precious metals. Areas where crystals are abundant are often claimed in the name of the crown as mining sites. However, people have long whispered that magla crystals are dangerous to those who deal in them. Such statements are largely regarded as hearsay because there was little evidence to support it. Recently, even the state army has grown more cautious with them as reported incidents are on the rise. We got mag. Minuscule fragments of magla crystals that accumulate in the bodies of animals and magical beings in the area where magla is dense. So, animals in magla dense areas have crystals in them, and we can get them, and that's what mag is. Which is why we had all that mag in order to, you know, study the archetypes. There we go. So that's interesting. Though they are of little use to ordinary citizens, there is a system in Grand Trad where people can sell their fragments. As a result, some people, like soldiers, whose work gives them ample opportunity to leave the city, carry a bag to collect them instead of throwing them away. Okay. Then there's the magic igniters. That's the one we saw at the very beginning of the game. A tool that acts as a conduit for magic power, without which people cannot perform magic. To own or use them, one must obtain a permit from the kingdom by passing a test. Some exceptions, such as those serving in the state army. Igniters can be costly, depending on power and specifications. And purchasing them is akin to buying land or housing. The expense is so great, buying more than one igniter would be difficult even with the entire lifetime income of the average commoner. In order to prevent incidents and crime, the Crown Theocracy and the Magic Association have exclusive production rights of igniters. Unauthorized production is considered a serious offense. The time needed to cast magic depends on the user's skill, but can also be slightly impacted by the capabilities of the igniter itself. While using an igniter while set in tree poses little problem, activating an igniter while moving is difficult, and thus advised to use them cautiously. So basically, from what I got from that, it seems like the magic igniters depend on the user's potential to use them and the quality of the igniter itself, and movement makes it a lot more difficult to use them. Gotcha. Gauntlet runners. Often called runners as shorthanded, a general term for magic-powered semi-automated vehicles designed for traversing the wastelands, and either overcoming and circumventing local wildlife threats and magical phenomenon. Traveling the wilds on foot or even in a lightly armed carriage has historically been incredibly dangerous, making any long-distance trips life-threatening risks. However, as cities and countries grew, so did demand for resources, many of which required transport in large quantities. The gauntlet runners filled the niche of an armed, sturdy vehicle that could help with transport and land development. There are small runners, roughly the size of armed carriages, with a simple deck addition, but it's more common to see models that walk on legs, with an internal living area, comparable to a modest house. Legs are more common in their design than wheels, partly because of their versatility on all manner of difficult terrain. More so because adopting the remains of and skeleton of large monsters is more cost-effective and stronger than artificially creating the components necessary. That's very interesting, actually. When, like, you put legs on something versus wheels. Yeah, this is something that, like, I feel like we should have done with Unicorn Overlord. That we didn't really do too much of it, you know, actually. I feel like we would have found out a little bit more. But I also feel like reading all of this, I'm not gonna really remember so much. So, like, if I read something that's going to be very important, like, you know, this is like when we get the history or people, I feel like I'm going to really fail to remember anything there, because places and people I tend to forget unless I have a visual of what they look like, and I remember the faces more than the name. So, you know, that might be where, like, kind of doing this will roughly fail me or so. I don't know. The thing is that we're doing that at 15, maybe we'll do the next one at 30. I don't know. We'll figure out a good system for it, maybe. Royal Scepter. An ornate cane-like scepter passed down through generations of the Ukrainian royal family, proof of their right to rule. A magical instrument of extraordinary capabilities, powerful enough to induce natural disasters, can only be wielded by the king, and the popularly termed royal magic it commands serves both as a pillar of the king's authority and a deterrent to war. Consequently, any king of Ukrainia must be well versed in magic, and the boon of royal lineage is not enough to ensure succession to the throne. Historically, there have been many cases where an offshoot member of a prince's family has become king when the bloodline's most direct hereditar was judged not to have enough magical aptitude to truly wield the royal scepter. Okay, royal magic. A powerful magic passed down through the generations of Ukrainian kings, invoked through a unique magic igniter called the royal scepter. It has tremendous power that can bring about anything the king desires. There are several records of its use in the long history of the kingdom, be it for revolutionary or oppressive aims, but each is described as a cataclysmic disaster. It continues to represent a strong deterrent power to the royal family and the kingdom. And like here's the thing, right? I was thinking about maybe this would take up like a day's worth of like video. But I don't know if that would be alright. Right? Because I don't know exactly how long this is going to kind of go for. We do have quite a bit to go through, but you know, I don't think it's going to be roughly an hour's worth of stuff. And I don't want to leave you guys with just like a 30-minute video that you can basically just hear me read stuff. Oh no. I'll try to see how I can work these 0.5s into like, you know, the scheduling of the videos, but maybe I should also make a poll for it. The poll will already have happened because this is going to be recorded and posted after the fact. Well, it's recorded before the fact, but it is released after the fact. So while I'm recording this and I'm planning to make the poll is going to happen between me actually stating this and the poll is going to happen before me releasing the video. So, you know, there is that. So whenever this actually does get posted out, or when it does, you know, we'll find out. Because ideally, I would like it to be on maybe a Sunday or something. Because I don't want to have 2 videos a day, I feel. I don't know. But the longer I talk about it, the longer the video is going to be. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Resonant vessels. When an archetype power causes a transformation, first stage is that of the heart becoming a metallic object known as of unknown origin. To activate the power, the wielder must announce their determination and their hopes for it into their newly made heart, which urges the body to awaken. This outcry is akin to the battle cries of heroes past, who were known to call upon archetypes in the face of danger. It could be said that the transformation makes the wielder an ideal version of themselves. So, yeah, we still got quite a bit. Okay. Archetypes. Mysterious power that Kro has awakened to. Shining magla engulfs the entire body, transforming it into a giant figure reminiscent of a hero. They seem to be sort of magic, but clearly not the same kind as the igniters issued by the army. Everything about it deviates from what is commonly known of magic. A mysterious room described by Moore as a hall of wisdom reminiscent of a researcher's study. The chamber is filled with all manner of objects rarely seen elsewhere, from books containing secret knowledge regarding archetypes, forbidden texts, and tools, which accurately map the movement of the stars, among countless others. What happens if I press R? Oh, okay, you see, that's a lot better than, like, going to the next one. Princess Curse. Wait, right? Is the princess? Yeah, okay, the princess. Oh, no! We're back. Okay. The lingering, malevolent magic sustained by the prince during his assault 12 years ago. At the time of the incident, great minds from all over the country attempted to break the curse, yet none were successful. Those who can see the flow of magla say it resembles poisonous briar vines entwined around the sleeping prince. The Farsight Mirror, a mysterious-looking glass tinged with magic, entrusted by Gallica by the Resistance for her secret mission. This pair of identical mirrors reflect the view of the other, no matter the distance separating them. Gallica possesses one half of the pair, while the other remains by the prince, allowing her to check in on his condition at any time. Originally owned by the prince, it's a small item that is impossible to make with contemporary technology. I believe it may be in fact a divine relic. Was there another? No. Music and magic. An unusual variety of magic that causes the listener to become aware of their state of mind through the form of sound and music. As it is a modest form of magic with seemingly no utility on the battlefield, it is considered a meaningless, trifling skill in society, and thus rarely used. It should be used more. I think that's all that we have in the magic area. Now, we do have quite a bit more, in which we're probably only gonna have like maybe like a 25 or a 30 minute collection of reading and whatnot. Because I would technically not really want to like go through the academia and find something important and then it be in this info dump and people not watch it, and then like when I make mention of it, people are gonna have to watch the info dump, and I would prefer that not be the case. So we're just gonna kind of go ahead and read what's in the memorandum. Memorandum! Okay, the Kingdom of Ukronia. A union of allied kingdoms spanned the Kingdom of Ukronia, the Principality of Oceania, and the Principality of Montario. Ukronia being the suzerain, with its king holding authority over all three kingdoms. The original king, Deus, was this United Nations' first ruler, and is often referred to as the founder king. I also need to like think of like a way to make this a little more interesting, right? I don't know how it's gonna work. Maybe I'll make like a little like chibi person to kind of like point to with like a stick, and as I'm talking, maybe hold this thing in the hands. Maybe. I don't know. It would be a little bit of a pain, but I think that it would be kind of nice for like moments like this where there's not a lot of things going on. Huh. Okay, but more of the Ukronia. The continent is surrounded by fast-running currents, and ships can only set anchor from the southern island sea, where the otherwise swift currents are less violent. As a result, there have been few invasions from overseas, and 3 countries have achieved long histories. The capital of the kingdom is Grand Trad, the largest city in the kingdom, located in north-central Ukronia. The most widespread religion is Sanctism. Sanctism. There we go. I had to think of another word in order to actually make that work. Jeez. Established as the state religion under the reign of the most recent monarch, King Hythandius Deus V. Royal capital, Grand Trad. The nation's largest city, capital of both the Kingdom of Ukronia and the United Kingdom at large, also referred to as the royal capital, being the home of the palace and seat of the royal bloodline. Known for its solid ramparts, a site which has long been emblematic of the city itself. However, when the massive regolith Grand Cathedral was built, the building's grandeur became the new symbol of Grand Trad. Now, I'm wondering if maybe we should probably kind of introduce these into the episodes, like towards the end of it, maybe? I don't know. As I'm thinking about it, I could technically record the entire session and start reading, and if I do it every single video, we're only gonna have like a little bit of stuff to read, and that might be a little bit more palatable. Maybe we'll do that with the next couple of videos and see whether or not I like it. And if I like it, great. If I don't, frick. We'll figure it out. Who knows? A defensive fort on the northern edge of Ukrainian territory, also bordering the country of Oceania to the west. Built before the kingdom's unification, this old stronghold has outlived its political and strategic relevance, is now most often used as a training ground for the new soldiers. Okay. The Nord Mines, a mine dug in the hills of northwest Ukrainia. Due to the abundance of high-quality magma crystals, the mining efforts had long been ran under the king's direct authority. However, some sort of catastrophic Why? that's the problem with the English language, I feel. And I feel like maybe it's like just like regular language, I don't know. But some sort of catastrophic accident took place several years ago, costing many lives, and the mine was temporarily closed until the cause of the incident could be removed. However, the mines remain shuttered even now, and they're generally thought of as abandoned. Nevertheless, as ample magma veins still remain and the mine's entrance was never sealed off, the past years have seen a reliable influx of daredevils who come seeking their instant fortune in the mine's remaining prizes, which has led to its own associated problems. Here comes a new daredevil! And you got Alia. Oh, this is the place that Stroll was talking about. A mountain village governed by the house Haliatis. Elias? I don't know. The family of Leon Stroll, not wishing to partake in the extravagant lifestyle of most nobles, Stroll's parents were modest in their governance and considerate to their people. However, when a human suddenly attacked 7 years ago, the village was reduced to rubble after petitions for the state army's aid went unanswered. Stroll's parents lost their lives saving their son and their people. Today, the village remains uninhabited, no trace of its former self remaining. Aww. Hidden Village. A hidden village whose name and location are kept secret from the world. The prince, afflicted by a curse, is being sheltered and receiving treatment there. This is also where Kro and Gallica were issued their secret mission. The prince's assault. This is not a location. This history. Okay. An assassination attempt on the prince 12 years ago, assailant infiltrated the place to attack the prince as he was sleeping, catching the royal guard by surprise with their sudden appearance within the secured grounds. Though these royal guards gave panic chase, they ultimately made a cataclysmic blunder. Not only did they allow the prince to be harmed, they failed to capture the assailant, or even ascertain their identities. The assailant who made direct contact with the prince was a mage who fled the palace after casting a high-level curse. That's the other thing. Curses exist in this world. So they're going to be like a class that kind of acts like a green mage that just casts curses. That's going to be interesting, actually. Thanks to the efforts of the royal healers, the prince avoided an untimely demise, but they were unable to free him from his affliction. According to the royal guards who fought the band of assassins, the only clue regarding the identity of the mage was that they were patently not an adult. What? The assailant was able to arrange a sneak attack within the palace, had a masterful command of high-level curse magic, and the appearance of a child. By all accounts, the only person to match these unique criteria was Luis, who was afterwards strongly condemned by all in the palace. However, no evidence could be found, and justice has yet to be served. Okay, interesting. The Elder Tribe. We already read the first one, but we never knew about the second part. Each of the 8 tribes possess unique physical traits making them recognizable at a glance, such as the Clemar's horns or the Rosaint's long ears. The Elda tribe, however, bears no such distinguishing features, and thus are regarded as inferior beings. You know, you could just, like, put a fake tail, like, on your belt or something, and no one would know you're an Elda, possibly. That would probably be a very bad idea, seeing as how bad, you know, the you know, kind of dog people kind of get the rap. But seeing as how the Elda is even worse treated, it would be a little bit better, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I should also change the music, because listening to this the entire time would probably be very wearing for you guys. I don't know. The Clemar tribe. The Clemar tribe composes the largest population in all the allied kingdoms. Their most distinctive features are the horns, which grow on both sides of their heads. Clemars have a broad diversity of facial and body types, which has essentially made them average. The Ukrainian royal family are Clemar, and members of this tribe hold a majority of important positions within the government, leading many Clemars to internalize the belief that they are the kingdom's most preeminent tribe. Clemars value freedom and dislike illogical restraint. They enjoy cultivating discussion, but do not always consider the situation or appropriateness of doing so, which occasionally leads to conflict. However, some studies suggest this disposition is what drives them to seek governmental positions and other important offices. Fair enough. Rosaint tribe, one of the most populous tribes of the United Kingdoms. Oh no, it's coming back to bite me in the butt for the last video! No! Why? Oh, goodness gracious. Secondly, only to the Clemars, long pointed ears are their most distinctive features. They often boast excellent physiquenesses, which has given them superior martial prowess, which is weird for elves, I feel. Rosaint's women are stronger than most men of their tribes. Ooh! Many inevitably work in the military and often hold key offices. They are considered as influential as the Clemar, and the two tribes are sometimes called the prevailing tribes. I need to read this one. Many Rosaint pride themselves on outperforming others in strength. While this can be perceived as a self-disciplined competitiveness, on the flip side, there are many with a belligerent temperament, obsessed with proving superiority in any situation. And we got the Parapus tribe. Okay, these are the animal, typically looking more dog people. I hate the picture that they actually end up using for this. A tribe recognizably by the bestial ears and tails. There are many variations in their hair and skin colors, including cold-colored skin not seen in other tribes. They are physically adept and often honest with their emotions, giving them a reputation for hedonism, for better or for worse. What is hedonism? Hedonism, the pursuit of pleasures, sensual self-indulgence. Gotcha. Okay. They are drawn to parties and festivities, and while this happy-go-lucky charm is often to their credit, it can also be seen as recklessness. Due to this stereotype, they are looked down upon other tribes, which prevent them from securing a foothold in politics, despite being nearly as populous as the Rosaint and Clemar tribes. The discrimination against them is especially obvious in large cities. But because they are self-indulgent, the other people don't really see eye to eye, because the other two tribes particularly are more studious, I guess. That is probably not the right way to kind of go about saying that, but I don't really know. Basically, they're not as, like, stoic. No, stoic is where you, like, don't really show emotion. They're more busybody. They're less busybody than the other two, I guess. Okay. Prince of Ukrainia. The son and heir to the throne of King Hythandius V, More than 10 years ago, a mysterious attack in the royal palace left him afflicted with a deadly curse. The curse took its toll on his body, and though he barely endured treatment, his recovery was interrupted several years later when he and his closest aides suddenly vanished from the castle without a trace. The king exhausted all possible means to find him, but was ultimately unsuccessful. He was formally declared deceased 3 years ago, and a royal funeral was held in his honor. Okay. Gallica! A fairy who accompanies Kro on his journey, doubling as his chaperone for his special mission. Her diminutive size excludes her from participating physically in battle, but her special fairy traits allow her more proficiency than Kro when it comes to sensing magla and knowing magic. Though she can become heated when her personal values are tested, she is a reassuring traveling companion. On Gallica, Gallica tried to stay resolute as Kro's chaperone, but as he gets involved in unexpectedly intense battles, she begins to doubt her role as the guardian in the grand scheme of things. However, with the fairy's unique ability to deflect anxiety, she does her best to help with the protagonist any way that she can. Strahl! Leon Strahl, a young man of the Clamar tribe, met at the recruitment center in Grand Trad. A general youth who values justice with a good head on his shoulders. He comes from a noble family, but seems to have a complex circumstances that lead him to enlist in the army. Typically a commoner profession, though the new recruits grumble at being ordered to refer to each other by their surnames in order to prevent over familiarity. Strahl doesn't seem to mind. Okay. On Strahl, the son of the noble family of Halia, a village that was destroyed by a human. Now that he has lost his home and family, he has only his pride to redeem himself from the shallowness of his past self. And here at the TheRedMageKro's channel, we value the pride of others. Primarily Vegeta and Zack. Maybe even Seto Kaido, because he also prides himself too, but jazz, my fellow people, jazz! Grius. Arvid Grius, a veteran Rohog warrior and resistance member alongside Kro and Gallica. He infiltrated the ranks of the army and has been working as a covert operative. Gallica was entrusted with delivering secret orders to him. Forden. Oh my god, what the hell? Aestus Vam Forden, the 78th Sanctifex of the Sanctus Church, the state religion of the United Kingdom. He holds the highest authority within Sanctinism, and as such is the leader of the crown theocracy. Man, religion is also like a form of world building, and I haven't really focused on that part of my story either, which is definitely needed a little bit more exploration into. Despite hailing from the Rohog tribe, rather than the more common Clamar or Rosant, the Saint tribes, he enjoys a broad base of support. The turmoil following the sudden death of the previous king, many view him as something of an interim king, given his position as the leader of the moderate faction. And yeah, he has the same markings as, Grius. So, and the same short ears, too. Okay. Interesting. Louise Guainberg, a Clamar Royal Army officer of great renown, who managed to become nobility at an exceptionally young age. He possesses extraordinary skills as both a warrior and an archmage, but even more highly regarded are his capabilities as a military strategist, for which his superior insight and grasp of psychology set him apart. His faculties as a young soldier were so shrewd that his own allies came to grow wary of him, calling him a monster in the making. He prizes rationality above all else, strictly adhering to a policy of appointing officers by their capabilities alone, without regard for tribe or origin. As a result, senior officials accuse him of trying to undermine tradition. However, he now wields an influence far beyond a typical officer and may believe he will be the youngest person to ever be appointed the Army's highest-ranking position of general. Captain Klinger. captain in charge of new recruits in the recruitment center. Also weird that now his picture seems to be in the mines, I guess? A short, portly, unsoldiery man called an incompetent fool by Strahl after an attack on the fort led him to order new recruits to the front lines in a panic. Oh, so that's also why, God, man, and this is also kind of like why an information dump might not be the best place to have a 0.5 episode. Maybe 0.5 episodes should primarily, in this case it's not, but be primarily just grinding episodes, where I decide I need to grind levels, while, you know, info dumping should be done episodically. I don't know. We'll find out. Because the reason he didn't want Strahl to send people back for backup is because he wanted everyone there dead. There we go. So we made it seem. In actuality, he is a fervent supporter of Luis and always planned to take a mass of new recruits to die at the hands of humans in order to demonstrate his support of Luis's assertions. More. An enigmatic, there we go, young man imprisoned in a particular study called academia. First contact Kro during a particularly trying moment by somehow linking their consciousnesses. Though he is undoubtedly an ally, many mysteries surround him, such as his knowledge that igniters are not essential to magic or his profound expertise on archetypes. Mage. A general term for those who have good command over magic. Formally, it refers to those who have achieved a national qualification to professionally use magic. However, as many commoners have difficulty discerning those who are formally qualified, this catch-all term rose to prominence. There are several tiers to mage certifications, with the majority being for low-tier artisans, engineers, and soldiers, which limit the type of use of magic. However, some professions have fewer restrictions, such as magic professors and healers. The higher the tier of certification, the more difficult it is to obtain. Few in the kingdom hold the highest tier, and one bearer alone can influence nations. The Traveling Peddler. Merchants who travel from town to town selling regionally specialties from across the kingdom at higher markup. They're invariably veteran travelers, even willing to explore caves and other places where the world's monsters are most likely to lurk. Their sense of adventure and the rarity of their goods often inspire awe in those who have never ventured outside their town's borders. And so now we're done here. Well, all that's left is culture. The fantasy novel that we carry, the book Kro carries with him. It is a memoir-style novel depicting a country with neither magic nor a notion of tribes, where people are not discriminated by birth. Quite literally, a fantasy world, even a fantasy world that we ourselves actually don't live in. It's a double fantasy! It was designated as a forbidden text by the Sanctus Church 10 years prior, and most copies are thought to have been burned, making it hard to come by in present day. This well-bound book that would be unusual for a commoner to own. Sanctism. A monotheistic religion devoted to the worship of one God, the Almighty. The religion of majority across the United Kingdoms. His sanctors preach that uttering the prayer closere with one's whole heart will reach God, bringing salvation. It is the state religion, and the Sanctus hierarchy is deeply intertwined with the kingdom's politics. Currently, the crown theocracy is at the heart of the kingdom's political affairs. The Recruitment Center. A center located in every city for people to apply to join the army. For those without families or means, volunteering is one of the quickest ways to earn money and social credibility. Recruitment is not always open, but concerns about public safety due to its sudden death of the king as well as monster outbreaks in the area has led to an unusually long recruitment period in the royal capital. And that's it. You've read all 15% of the jazz that we basically had. Oh, this is wonky. I don't like that. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. So, now that we've, spent all that time, it's kind of like reading. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this info dump of an episode. I know it's a short episode and whatnot. Roughly around 40 minutes or so. I mean, it really depends, because there might be a little bit of cuts here and there to kind of like help out with the pacing of the video and whatnot. But yeah, I want to thank you all. I hope you all enjoyed, and with the next coming of episodes, we'll kind of like test the waters, kind of like read whatever's new and whatnot, and see if we like that and whatnot. So yep, thank you all once more, and I will see you all in the next part of the adventure. Bye bye.